here we go, our Bantamweight challenge. 27 years of age, the challenger, 1 year older than the champion. But look at that record, a perfect 6-0. Will he still be the king after that, or will Walsh be crowned? Let's go to Buddy Johnson, our MC, to get this one going.
BAMMA fans, fight fans, if you're ready for this championship matchup, make some noise! BAMMA 23, the Night of Champions. This bout, ladies and gentlemen, is for BAMMA's Bantamweight title. We get ready for 3 5-minute rounds in BAMMA's Bantamweight division. Introducing first, your challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, an MMA fighter standing 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 134.6 pounds. He has a record of 13 wins, 3 losses, and 0 draws, with 6 of those wins by TKO. Representing Tiger MT and Lancaster Morecambe MMA from Lancaster, England, your challenger, Shay Walsh. And ladies and gentlemen, standing in the red corner, your champion, an all-arounder standing 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 133.8 pounds. A flawless record of 6 wins, no losses and no draws, with 3 of those wins by submission. Representing NFM Windsor from Hemel Hempstead, England, your champion, Ed King Arthur. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mark Woodard.
So Chris, look at this stare down.
And
gives you goosebumps.
Mark Woodard having to put his hands in between and keep them apart. A similar storyline at the weigh-ins yesterday. Ed got the last look though as Shay coolly turned away. But now, 36 hours later, we are underway in Birmingham.
And you heard Ed the King Arthur's confident prediction. I'm going to take him apart, possibly within a minute of the first round.
And Ed's so emphatic that he was like at 3 out of 10 in his last fight. He said, now I'm reaching my full potential and I'm going to put on a display. But Walsh known for being very technical on the feet. If you watch some of the media and the build-up to this fight, very fluid combinations, excellent training there with his footwork, and you can see the testament to that coming in now. But it's Walsh who shoots for the takedown.
That must have been a shock for Ed Arthur, because everything we saw prior was we knew was Shay Walsh's strengths.
And one of the keys for Ed is to stay out of bad positions, particularly early. Walsh may have a slight strength advantage. He cut a ton of weight for this fight. But now Ed on his back, maneuvering very nicely against the cage here. Shay Walsh, solid head pressure, looking to stand up and now land some punches.
And Chris, you were saying before this fight that we're so excited about the way Shay's game has developed. Didn't previously have a BJJ coach.
He's never had a proper BJJ coach, but remains very difficult to submit on the ground. Very effective in controlling it. A lot of the guys that train with him say that's a testament to the unorthodox style that he brings. And you can see some of his handiwork here in the way he's controlling Ed, then standing up and punching, then getting a little bit top heavy. But you gotta watch your neck when you're deep like that. Ed fishing in for the guillotine, doesn't see it. Now pushing down on the head of Shay and trying to get back to his feet. Then Shay sucks his hips away from the cage. Excellent work from both men here to start it off in Birmingham.
Chris, were you surprised at the way Shay Walsh came in and went for the takedown?
Not at all. He's a mixed martial artist, and the Tiger Muay Thai guys are doing a whole lot more than just stand-up out there underneath coaches such as Roger Ware to have really put the pieces together and assembled a truly outstanding international MMA team. And Shay Walsh on the forefront of that here in BAMMA in Europe tonight.
Very reminiscent of Ed Arthur when he had to take the title. Phil Pott put him under so much pressure in the opening round.
That's absolutely true. We've seen Ed Arthur on his back a number of times, but I think he needs this one on his feet, on the end of his jab and moving. Ed needs to be able to push the pace, and right now he's in purely defensive mode.
As we said, a very confident young man, and he said quite simply, I want it more than him. Winning is all I know.
And Ed Arthur, a winner in every sense of the word, always able to find the outcome But right now, Walsh putting on a lot of early pressure, closing down space.
Oh, but he was rocked, Chris. He was rocked by the Arthur right hand and goes for the takedown again. Arthur looked for the second right hand for the first time. Shay was in trouble there.
And the King doing really nice to post with that open guard and try to create some space. But Walsh controlling those hips and lassoing those feet, pulls that down to his back, but there's a triangle on the way. Stuffed then by Shay Walsh. Very nice defense.
What a start to this title defense here. Shay Walsh taking it to the champion, then the champion exploding with the right hand.
And that's just what I was talking about, how Ed is so good at taking advantage of his opponent's mistakes. However, Shay able to escape. He did a good job of looking up and getting out of there when Ed threw those legs up for the triangle.
Oh, the knee from Shay. One thing I've noticed from Shay from the moment he came out here is distancing. Have you seen how tight he's stuck to Ed Arthur?
And Ed, I think, needs to be able to continue to move and circle away. There we go, much better for Ed, away from the fence, back in center ring. Needs to pump that jab, much better from the champ.
Nice head movement as well as he ducks away from the replies from Shay.
And Ed looking for a 1-2, possibly gonna end with a left hook off that. And it's Ed who shoots then. Shay then looking to crank on that neck. Aborts, and now controlling Ed against the fence once again.
And once again, we have the champion in a real test of his determination, his mettle in this opening round. He seems to make life difficult for himself.
And look how deep that overhook was from Shay Walsh. It was all the way tight to the chest of Ed Arthur and then went actually all the way beyond to his right leg. Shay Walsh has got outstanding control, superb level of grappling on display from the challenger thus far.
Well, we're inside the last 10 seconds of the round, and it's been a dominant display once again by the challenger. And that left knee right at the end there says it all. So Chris, Shay Walsh, apart from that right hand, just like Philpott did before, asking all sorts of questions of Ed Arthur.
Shay Walsh just embodying that diversification that we've seen through his career and his training regimen. Drops for the first takedown of this fight. Compelling movements from the challenger. And Ed definitely landed some nice clean strikes there. And that was the one where he really clipped Shay. That was probably his best strike of that round.
But to be honest, before and after that, Shay Walsh really took control. And it was the lack of space between the two men. He seemed to dominate that area.
He was able to intercept Ed. And I think he wants nothing to do with the boxing attack that we saw on display from Ed Arthur. A shout from the champ as he emerges from his corner. It's round 2 coming up, and what's been a breathtaking fight, Malcolm.
And Shay Walsh playing mind games with him, Chris, saying, yeah, bring it on. As you said, Ed went to the crowd to stir them up. Shay said, bring it on. But remember, Ed Arthur in the second round was a totally different animal against Philpott.
What a cracking fight this has turned out to be. A stunning occasion with both fighters goading each other on. And Ed Arthur went for that takedown, but Walsh having none of it. Now Walsh controlling him up against the edge of the ring here.
Arthur looking for the, he's got the guillotine, possibly. No, Arthur really up against it again with that knee.
And Walsh actually did a great job of swapping his head inside and outside, and then on the exit, flicking that knee in for good measure. We saw that in his previous fight, where he'll open up with a stand-up on the entrance and exit of the clinch.
Oh, this one living up to expectations on a night of champions.
Oh, but he clips him with the left hook.
And Arthur is rocked. It's Arthur, and then the high point kick. He comes back. Listen to the crowd. This is war, Chris.
And a real battle unfolding here as Walsh comes in with the right elbow. Twice now landing on the chin of Ed Arthur.
Those right elbows, incredible strikes. Arthur's still there, but this is not the second round he was looking for against Philpott. Shay Walsh continuing to keep up the pressure, not giving the champion space to breathe. He's always in the pocket.
And Walsh is going to look for that elbow again, the way he's posting.
Oh, he's rocked him again, Chris. Oh, the big knee. Walsh is dismantling the champion here at the moment. Ed Arthur looks in real trouble here now.
And Ed in survival mode, but still standing bites down on his mouthpiece and charges onwards.
Comes forward with a left and a right uppercut combination, but Walsh stepping in again as he did against Pilot. The champ breathes deeply, looks for good body shots. Listen to the crowd here. This is everything we hoped for from his first title defense.
And Ed drops for the guillotine. Open guard for the champ, and Shay Walsh, if he can't defend the neck, is gonna look to defend against the legs.
His head pops out here. Walsh was totally dominant. Ed Arthur needs that breathing space, Chris. He needs to recover from that onslaught from Walsh.
And Shay was looking for a leg drag there. The reception from the crowd. Uproarious scenes here in the Barclaycard Arena, Malcolm.
Oh, an incredible atmosphere here for BAMMA 23. Can hardly hear yourself think, and rightly so. What a title fight.
And Ed doing a good job here of closing in on that guard now, but Walsh once again sucks his hips away from the cage. And Ed's gonna find it very difficult to maneuver here. Over 2 minutes to go. A lot of time to work with for both fighters.
And pulling on those legs again, Shay Walsh. He's stuck to a game plan, hasn't he, Chris?
Absolutely. But Ed continuing to remain unpredictable.
And this is bad for him.
Ed shrimps out. Looking to lock up half guard is the champion, Ed Arthur.
But Chris, we were talking before this fight, and you said you were really impressed with the ground and pound strategy of Shay Walsh. Ed doesn't want to be there, does he?
Not at all. He needs to avoid positions like this. He needs to be in circumstances that he can dictate on his own terms. He's threatening again with that choke on Walsh, but Walsh slips out. Going to be very difficult to finish a technique like that, particularly by stuffing the neck as Ed was trying to do. Walsh looking to pass here.
Yes. Looking to isolate, well, he's looking for arm control here as well. I've never seen Ed under such pressure across these 2 rounds.
But Ed's doing a great job of recovering better positions off his back. But the problem is Walsh remains dominant. And Walsh with the pass here. Possible crucifix position. Ed slips his left arm out. Watch for him to frame up and try to shrimp back in. Very nicely done by the champ.
Chris, Walsh has set a tempo here and a pace that is unrelenting. He's kept right in the pocket, right close to the champion, and never stopped working. And another elbow chops in to the left-hand side of the face of the champion.
Combinations made to measure. But Walsh again closes the distance on top. Double butterfly guard for Ed Arthur. Less than 30 seconds to go on the clock.
And Shay Walsh, he said, I've had the perfect training camp. I've really had time for this one. And he's lived up to his expectations. He's lived up to what he said he was going to do.
And Ed Arthur also lived up to his own expectations of predicting, I never want to be in a boring fight. He feeds off the energy in the crowd. I was talking to him after he weighed in yesterday, and he said, I love this. This is what I want to dedicate my life to. Well, you wanted a fight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got one in Birmingham.
Chris, let's be blunt. I've got the champion 2 rounds down.
It's been a crazy back and forth pace throughout this fight. Ed has done very well off his back end positions, but Shay able to continually back him up with combinations. In particular, as you'll see here, punches and bunches following up with those kicks. And then the right elbow, you'll see an example right here. Bam, that is the shot.
The champion, though, so resilient. A lot of men from under the knee as well would have been out of there by now, but he still knew what he was doing, as you said, still looking for his own options, but this was unrelenting from Shay Walsh.
But both fighters taking risks and throwing each other into harm's way. You'll see the way he dumped Ed to the back. Ed was looking for the up kick, just missed by a couple of inches there. What a pace back and forth, Malcolm. Round 3 coming right up.
Wow, if the 3rd round lives up to the first 2, this is going to be incredible. And I feel Ed Arthur needs to stop his man now.
And Ed off to a good start here, backing off Shay Walsh. I think he needs to definitely continue to work off that jab. Inside low kick, 1-2, off the end. Attacking that femoral artery is the champ, Ed King Arthur. But he gets clipped again with the left hook, Malcolm.
Well, Shay Walsh is defending, but staying in the pocket at the same time. So if he can make him miss, he's still in range for his own counters. As you said, Chris, picking up on what you said before, both men playing a dangerous game. They really are going for it.
I love this. I mean, sometimes in a championship fight, you see guys fight not to lose. That's not been the case whatsoever for either of these two athletes.
No, you're right. They're fighting to win here. It's a good point, Chris, and it's made this so exciting for us. And I think Shay Walsh's game plan, the way he's always stayed there with the champion, always working. He's constantly asking questions of Ed.
And I think he's also taken a page out of the Philpott fight, but also remained more unpredictable. He's been throwing in strikes, and he's looking for an arm triangle here, but Ed defends very nicely.
But at this point in time in the third round, we can't afford to be talking about Arthur's defense when he's possibly 2 rounds down.
And a pass here early on, sliding into full mount, now looking for the arm triangle. That's tough to finish against the cage, but he might just have enough space to finish this. Ed on the phone. Man, this looks really tight. I think this might be it, Malcolm. This looks really, really, really deep, and there's a lot of time to squeeze here.
Oh, Shay Walsh has done so well across 2 rounds. He said difficult times for the champion, and Arthur, he's a man that just won't give up, but Shay Walsh knows where he is, he knows what he's doing. This could be the change of the title, the belt right here.
And Ed's doing a really good job of trying to create breathing space. He's hand fighting, he's on the phone, he's moving his chin, trying to keep him, and he waves off. He says, I'm okay. That's great work from the champ, Ed Arthur. Really good timing in his submission defense.
And he's out. Chris, we've had everything here. Listen to the crowd. He's out.
And Ed working for a head inside single after turning redder than a tomato there on the end of that submission attempt from Shay Walsh. And it's Walsh who's on his back.
Unbelievable stuff. This title living up to all the hype, all the expectation. And full credit to both these men.
2 game competitors just expending a ton of energy and going for the finish at all times. Shay Walsh looking for the seatbelt, thought about getting to the back, but it's Ed looking for the double leg.
He's got just over 2 minutes, Chris, to turn this around. Will Shay Walsh really regret not being able to finish with that submission?
But this has been such a competitive fight. It's been a fight where perhaps Walsh on offense a little bit more as far as the time goes, but it's been a kinetic chess match nonetheless. And Ed looking again for that front headlock position. Walsh opts to defend now. He thought about taking him down, but you'll see the way he's controlling the legs. He circumnavigated them very nicely here, and then Ed can't work for that choke anymore. Very wise maneuver from the challenger.
Yes, and he's pushing forward again. And that's been, for me, the thing with Shay Walsh. He has pushed and pushed, as you said, not reckless abandon, but with confidence and constantly going forward, asking questions of the champion.
Walsh continuing here to maneuver, but it's Ed who's looking for a Kimura here. He's got at least his legs in a much better position to finish this. He actually used that to recover a guard, but Walsh hiding that thing underneath his right thigh, and Ed has to let go.
And Shay Walsh pushing forward again, relentless. And it's the pace. Let's talk about the pace of the 3 rounds, Chris. Incredible cardio from both men. The pace of this has been unbelievable.
It's been tremendous, unprecedented in this division's history in BAMMA, and that's what made this, in my opinion, such an intriguing style matchup, and that's paying off in spades here tonight. Shout out to Jude Samuel for putting this one on for the fans.
Shay Walsh's commitment, his cardio, his desire. He said he left a 12-day-old baby for this. Broke his heart, but he might be rewarded. That belt might be in his child's cot.
But the champ, King Arthur, clinging onto that figure 4. Walsh now coming around, riding him from the back and gonna look to go underneath the chin of the champ.
Wow, 10 seconds left. Incredible stuff here.
Man, what a fight, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd, literally a standing ovation here, Malcolm.
What a bout, and we will be back after catching our breath to see if Ed Arthur is still the champion. Welcome back after an incredible fight, and let's go to Buddy Johnson, our MC, to get the official decision on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you love this fight this evening, I want you to make some noise! 3 exciting rounds, and we go to our judges' scorecards. All 3 judges' scores about 30-27. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, and new BAMMA Bantamweight Champion of the World, Shay Walsh!
Shay, I can see what this means to you. We all know what you've been through, but tell me now it's not worth it. You're champion of the world.
Whoa, sounds good. Sounds good. I'm a bit emotional. The support is overwhelming. There's so many people here. Thank you all, honestly. Thank you, Becky. I left her with my baby. I'm sorry, and I love you.
Now, Shay, an incredible champion, such a durable man. Many people would have been out of there earlier than that, but your cardio, look at this, the way you pressured Ed.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep the pressure on. I thought I might have had him out of there in the second round. I hit him with a couple of elbows, and I thought, fuck me, he's still standing. Excuse my language. Yeah, tough guy, scrappy. I didn't expect anything less. I knew it was, he wasn't going to quit in there. He was going to keep coming forward no matter what.
We noted right from the opening round, you never gave Ed any space. You were always there, always pushing. Was that the game plan?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I fight every fight, to be honest. And same with Ed. Watching his fights, I knew that we weren't going to be dancing around each other, you know. We were both going to be pressing forward and throwing heavy shots, and that's exactly what happened.
Now, you said this time you had the luxury of a full training camp, and that really showed tonight.
To be honest, I don't know. I might have been misquoted. I normally have a full training camp, but this was excellent as always. I did work with my brother Sergio, which I need. He knows me the best, and it's very important work for me. And then I was over in Thailand for 4 weeks with a load of beasts out there pushing me every day. So,
well, it's paid off once again. You are the new world bantamweight champion.